Working with figurative work, and today's assignment is dealing with circles, square, triangle, and lines. And our anchor standard is refine and complete artistic work. And we need to understand that artists and designers develop excellence through practice and constructive critique to reflect on, revise, and refine work over time. Our process component is reflect, refine, and revise. And our performance standard is reflect on, re-engage, revise, and refine works of art or design considering relevant traditional and contemporary criteria as well as personal artistic vision. So we're still working with Sol LeWitt and his many ideas. And we have some warm-up questions. Do you think that the idea or concept is the most important part of an artwork? Think about that. Do you believe that an idea is a machine that makes an artwork? What is art? Is it the idea, the creation, or the end result of a drawing, sculpture, or some other artifact? So we have our background here. More information about Sol LeWitt's thinking. Please read this. It's very important because it deals with the concepts or the questions I just went over. Now, our assignment here is on your 9x12 white paper, draw with a pencil an initial rectangle measuring 8 inches by 11 inches. And these are your instructions. Within that rectangle, draw a big square that is not centered on the page. 2. Draw a line through a square that bisects the page diagonally into unequal parts. That line is tangent to a large circle that doesn't overlap the square. The circle doesn't overlap the square. The line can overlap the square. Draw a smaller circle off-center inside this circle. Draw a tangent to the smaller circle so that one corner of the square lies on the line. Draw a triangle that fills one side of the paper whose corner is the center of the square. So it should fill one side of the paper. It should be on one side. Now, here is an example. Do not copy this. You can see what it looks like. Okay, here you have 2 circles. They don't have to be the same size. You'll see in my drawing that my circle is actually bigger, but it is off center. Here you have the diagonal line bisecting, and anyway, so this is the assignment. Here are people working on a series of Sol LeWitt inspired drawings. Essentially, at this school, at the Base Museum, they actually created these drawings on the walls for an exhibition. And here they are. Anyway, here we have assignment submission. Submit your assignment as to your period number, last name, first name, SL4, SL4. Okay, and everything needs to be as a PDF document. Here's your grading rubric. Every direction is followed to the fullest extent. Neatness, completed artwork is exceptionally neat. Habits, student worked for the entire plea. Expectations, student has exceeded expectations of his or her ability level. So, first thing I'm going to do is make a 8-inch by 11-inch rectangle. That is the instruction. And I'm coming in. So now I am going to draw my rectangle. I'm having trouble. Draw my rectangle properly. There you go. First you do not succeed. Try again. The first direction says draw a big square that is not centered on the page. So I'm not going to center it, and of course I'm not going to copy the drawing that I've shown you. The big square that's not centered. So I'm going to go off of here, and I'm going to say this is my square. It's not centered on the page. The square is going to have to be the same size. So I got 4 inches here. I got 5 inches, about 5 inches. So if I go off of here, 5 inches, 5 inches. And I'm going to come out 5 inches here. 5 inches. I have this. I have a CD case. Isn't that wonderful? It's square. And guess what? It's about 5 inches. It's perfect. So I'm going to go like this, down like this, and like this. There you go. I just made my square. So using this tool, I will make circles in here. I'll show you how to do it. So here I have my piece of paper that I used the other day to make my circle when we were making the hexagons. This has a hole poked over here and over here. And you can vary the distance to get a larger or smaller circle. This is a screw. You can use a screw or you can use a push pin or any kind of pin. This goes in here and then your pencil goes in here and you place it on your paper and you can draw a circle, and I will demonstrate that now. So now I'm going to make this a little darker so that you can see it better. Instructions say draw a line through the square that bisects the page diagonally into unequal parts. And that line is a tangent to a large circle that doesn't overlap the square. It's a tangent to the circle. So I must put my circle in and then draw my tangent or bisecting line. Going back in my direction, I'm supposed to, it says to draw a line through the square that bisects the page diagonally into unequal parts. That line is tangent to a large circle that doesn't overlap the square. So I could go like this, right here. Okay, go like this. It goes through the square and it's a diagonal. There you go. I did that. The directions say draw a smaller circle off center within the other circle. And I'm doing that right now. And I'm being very careful as I do this, so I make sure I do my circle properly. Right. Let's look at it. The next instruction is draw a tangent to the smaller circle so that the corner of the square lies on the line. Next instruction is draw a triangle that fills one side of the paper whose corner is in the center of the square. So we've got to find the center of the square here. So to do that, I go here. Right. I find the center. That's the center of my square. So the direction says draw a triangle that fills one side of the paper whose corner is the center of the square. So this is one side of the paper, so it's got to fill that area somewhat. Okay, and so I'm going to come here and okay, so make sure everything is pretty. Make sure all your lines are good. Right, everything looks good on here. Clean up your edges. Clean everything up. Clean everything up. Okay, and if it looks good and clean and it's neat, then you have completed the assignment.